Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the one and only OKLA Online Karting League Africa. And my name is Stephen Koenig. Joining me in the booth once again is Janneman Press. Janneman, how are you doing this evening?
Good evening, Stephen. Good evening, everybody. Doing well. Last race of the season, of this very short season. And tonight we are at Zwartkops. Shortest track of the season, a little bit shorter than the other tracks, but different kind of tracks, so you'll see similar lap times than what you saw on the longest two previous circuits.
Well, let's take a look at our standings. Troy Dolenchek leading out with 75 points, Yuri Swartz with 66 points, Lucas Sturman 52 points, Jason Kutsia getting 46 points, Shan Labusher doing 36 points. He's getting chased down very closely by Chase Herald on 30 points. John Henry Vaughan, 28 points. 8th place is Mahar Wab with his 24 points, 1 point away from Sean Stradham. And 10th place is Andrew Thomas. And very, very close in points for the championship for the OKLA Launch Cup. Let's take a look at the circuit that we're racing on today. Zwartkops for round number 3, our final round. 1 kilometer in length, 15 corners, and one of the very few circuits that actually have the track going underneath itself, becoming turn 3 and turn 4. Very difficult, and especially when you come launching out of the tunnel, you're going to land up with a whole lot of sun in your eyes, more than you know. Heading around the circuit, you're going to have to keep your foot absolutely pinned to the floor from turn 15 right through to turn 1. It's going to be something exciting not to be missed, and let's see how it all works out. Let's head down to the circuit, gentlemen, where a couple of our drivers have been really working on getting their pace up, especially heading for qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a close one between Troy Dolenchek and Yuri Swart. Yuri Swart needs to step it up a bit tonight if he wants to take this championship. Otherwise, Troy might just have it in the bag. And for those people that don't know, Yuri Swart, real world racing driver. He's the 2022 GTI Challenge Class A champion. Now, Steve, you mentioned Chase Herald, but does it look like Chase is here tonight? He was actually the 2022 Class C champion in that GTI Challenge Cup.
Yeah, so lots of guys coming in, and you've also got the likes of Jason Kutsi, who's climbed his way to the top, Andrew Thomas, Troy Dolenchek. There's lots of big names all contending to go and win the championship here today, and it's going to be exciting to see who's going to be able to close out the championship in first place. Troy Dolenchek has got the majority of the championship in the bag, running away from everyone, but you've got to keep an eye on the rest of the field, because second and third is still very close for us. And as we heard in driver's briefing, there's 10,000 Rand split between first, second and third. So the guys have really got to pull out all the stops if they want to go and have a bit of a Christmas bonus towards the end.
Well, certainly this time of the year, a little Christmas bonus will definitely help. But at this stage, things are very close yet again. The top 4 guys separated by less than 0.2 of a second. So it seems like we are setting the stage for another very close race tonight.
Yeah, John Henry Vaughan taking first place at the moment, with Troy Dolenchek literally 0.001 of a second behind. Yuri Swart in third place with 0.083 behind our first place, followed by Jason Kutsia, Quinton Lobisher, Lucas Sturman, Andrew Thomas, Jude Stewart, followed by Shan Lobisher, William Marshall, Mahir Wab. We got Sebastian Diaz, Melvin Trollope, Sebastian Ferreira, John Stewart, and Mark Pollard rounding out this field. Couple of guys couldn't make it to the race this evening, unfortunately dealing with load shedding in South Africa, so a couple of guys had to bow out of it, and that kind of opens up a championship. We did talk about the likes of Chase not being around and having to now try to figure out what can he do to go after the championship. But with this being the final race, he's going to have to concede his position, and by the end of it, I think he's going to fall down. Yuri Swart jumping into first place, putting in a 41.9 with the likes of Troy Dolanchik in second place. Now, John Henry Vaughan down into third place. So as much as we go and talk about the stuff changing, the guys are now stepping it up, hoping to climb the ladder as quick as possible. As we take a look at Quinton now making his way around, he's going into turn 1. Let's see if we can follow him in through turn 1. Now heading down to turn 2. This is where it gets a bit interesting. Right-hander going to the bridge. You can see a very sharp hairpin. Turn 3 as you go into the bridge. Turn 4 exiting the bridge. You follow the track all the way through turn 5 and 6, and you start weaving your way back on the uphill. This is all about carrying the momentum through. Try not use the brake as much as possible. Try and just use the engine to just pull you through. Come off the throttle if need be, but the last thing you want to do is kill the momentum. Heading over the bridge now into the final corner, and just have to sling it in, get back on the power as early as possible, and use this monumental straight to get all the way down into turn 1. Beautifully done circuit for OKLA, and to have Zwartkops in the sim, which is quite a fantastic little kart circuit, I have to point out.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned the fact that it's a crossover type circuit. Can't really call it a figure 8, but you know, the other well-known circuit that has got a similar layout to this, you know, everybody needs to think about Suzuka in Japan, which also has that crossover. Now, what the crossover does, Steve, it means basically that the circuit is running in both directions, clockwise and anti-clockwise, where the vast majority of circuits in the world is either a clockwise or anti-clockwise circuit.
Well, Yuri Swart trying to get in a good lap. He's managed to get into second place, but still battling to get out of it as he's caught up between Lucas Sturman with Sebastian Diaz trying to put a bit of pressure on him. Taking a look to our comments, we've got Kritzy saying, "Let's go!" as he puts in the support. Glad to see it. Against all odds, esports obviously jumping in. Big thank you to our mod going and sending some absolute joy our side. And to everyone, you guys joining us, thank you very much for joining us for the final round. Can you believe it? Of the OKLA. Yes, we had to postpone the race due to load shedding. Majority of the drivers couldn't be around. Bumper lying on the circuit. Just seeing that now. Someone's going in driving with damage. But we're here. It's happening. It's the final round. It's exciting, and lots of excitement has built up amongst the community, chatting in the Discord, what's going to be next, how's it all going to go, and we're going to hear from Shan a little bit later after the race to just give us a bit of an insight of what's happening in the future for the OKLA and the against all odds side of things, especially with this sim. As we got 1 minute 20 seconds to go, Troy Dolanchik back up into first place. John Henry Vaughan, though, going in second place, and he is only 0.013. Yuri Swart trying to get the jump, tried bettering his time, but just could not go and better it. He sits in third place. And taking a look, we got Umar Wahib going and saying, "Muhammad, good luck." So it's good to see some support coming for Muhammad Mahir Wahib. So glad to see it. I do apologize if I'm getting that name wrong. We've also got Amelia Bishop saying, "Come on, Agri Racing." So glad to see Amelia jumping in as well. So the support is piling in for every single one of these teams.
Absolutely, Steve. This, as we said, last race of this short season. So this is the championship decider, because as far as my calculations go, I don't think Troy Dolanchik has done enough to secure it. You know, things might go wrong. Other people like Yuri Swart might have a good race. So it's all to play for here. And I think, you know, Troy can't relax. He'll have to go out tonight with guns blazing to secure this championship. Otherwise, other people like Yuri might just, you know, grab it away from him.
Well, the dark horse at the moment is actually John Henry Vaughan going for first place. He's got it 41.7. Yuri Swart trying to better his time. And let's see if we can find him. And it looks like Yuri Swart just only hanging on to second place, 0.008, with Troy Dolanchik down in third place. A little bit odd from where he started, as we see Shan coming across the line trying to better his lap time. Unfortunately, not able to do it. Sebastian Ferreira as well. Sebastian Diaz, I do apologize, going and making his way around. But as it stands, John Henry Vaughan going to be taking first place, Yuri Swart second, Troy Dolanchik third place, Jason Coetzee in fourth place, Andrew Thomas in fifth place, Quinton Lobisher in sixth, Lucas Sturman, Jude Stewart, William Marshall, Shan Lobisher down in 10th, Sebastian Diaz, Maher Wahib, Mark Pollard, Melvin Trollope, Sebastian Ferreira, and John Stewart rounding out the field for the final time and for the final. Well, this is heat number 1 of 2 heats here at Zwartkops for the OKLA, all lining up on the line. I've got to say, nerves are on end. Yuri Swart starting in first place. Troy Dolanchik, though, is going to be thinking, what does he need to do to get ahead? He's leading the championship, now starting in third. He's got Jason sitting on his inside, Andrew Thomas right behind him. He's in a bit of a compromising spot, and he has to follow John Henry Vaughan into turn 1 on the inside line. So Yuri Swart's got the outside line to try and sweep across the nose, but John Henry Vaughan has got the inside line. He's got the advantage there. How is this all going to work? It's anyone's guess. What do you think, gentlemen?
Yeah, man, absolutely. First 2 corners are going to be vital. I mean, we've got that first left-hander leading down to the hairpin just before we go underneath the bridge. As you said, John Henry Vaughan has got that inside line. And I think Yuri will try and cover off Troy as they go into turn 1. I think at this stage, Troy is just hoping he gets the jump on them at the start so that he can maybe make up a position or 2 heading into turn 1 and work his way up from there. But as you said, Troy's starting a little bit on the back foot. You know, he's used to have that clear track in front of him. At this stage, starting in third position, so he will have to.
Well, we're on our way. John Henry Vaughan taking up that inside spot, going and stopping Yuri Swart. Yuri Swart getting Troy Dolanchik diving up on the inside of him. And, oh, we got a bit of contact. One of the carts going off at the back. But John Henry Vaughan gets it all kinds of wrong. Going into turn 2, Troy Dolanchik up into first place. Jason Coetzee lying in third place with Andrew Thomas constantly. Sorry, that's Quinton Lobisher that is putting a bit of pressure on him, hoping to get by. And it does look like Quinton going and losing out a bit of drive. Touches the dirt. Lucas Sturman now coming a bit into the fight along with John Henry Vaughan. A little bit further back we've got Jude Stewart chasing down, hoping to get a little bit closer to this little battle as they make their way through the final corner to complete lap number 1. Troy Dolanchik getting that little bit of luck, is able to claw his way through, but it looks like we got one retirement, and that's Andrew Thomas, who is unfortunately retired from heat number 1 here at Zwartkops for round number 3, our final round of the OKLA. Jason Coetzee on the back of Yuri Swart, hoping to go and push him a little bit more into a mistake. Yuri not braking yet, just following the like of Troy Dolanchik. A little bit further behind, we've got Quinton Lobisher trying to pull away from the likes of Lucas Derman, who's just running out a little bit too wide. John Henry Vaughan, who's keeping right on the back of him, trying to make up some ground as possible. Then we got Jude Stewart. Oh, we've got one cart rollover. We have got a rollover, and I think that was Quinton, who unfortunately got it all kinds of wrong and has been the first rollover we've seen this season.
I mean, that's not something you like to see, and I think unfortunately there might be a lot of damage on that cart. I don't want to say this, Stephen, but he might be joining Andrew on the retirement list. Actually, 3 retirements so far: Lucas Sturman, Mahir Wahab, and Andrew Thomas out of the race. So we've lost 3 carts so far.
The guys just putting in everything they can. Unfortunately, Wahab going and falling out on the start, then battled his way through. Something must have gone on that caused that retirement, but hopefully they can get him all sorted out for heat number 2. Remember, we've got 2 heats, so you've got 12 laps in the first heat, you've got 12 laps in the second heat, just everything to try and make it stick. Jason Coetzee, though, is a man on a mission. All over the side of Yuri Swart, dives up, pushing Yuri Swart out and taking that second place. Now going after Troy Dolanchik. So while these two are just duking it out, and Yuri Swart and Jason Coetzee know each other from racing on multiple sims, racing on circuit with one another, and they're going after Troy Dolanchik, who's the championship leader, started in 3rd, up into 1st place, starting to run away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, I mean, while, Jason Kutsia and Yuri Swart, they keeping each other busy, that's going to allow Troy to open up that gap. Because inevitably, as you battle with each other, you actually slow each other down. And with Troy being out in front, that's going to allow him to get away. So I think they need to start working together and see if they can not, maybe reel in Troy instead of battling it out with each other. I don't know. Steve, what do you think?
They're getting a bit argy-bargy with one another, just trying everything they can to maneuver their way around. A little bit further back, though, if you want to talk about battles that can be consequential, Sebastian Ferreira and Mark Pollard going at one another, actually causing more bumps and barges, throwing each other off circuit. Now, what we saw from the others, that is the way to get it in the wall. Now, if you're sitting in the likes of Yuri and Jason Kusia's position, they're sitting right at the top. One mistake can throw them right down the field. John Henry Vaughan a little bit further down behind, but he is hanging there along with the likes of, Quinton Lobisher and John Henry Vaughan. You've got to get those two. They've swapped positions, but they are sitting just within enough reach that if one mistake happens where these two slow down, you can have two potential position losses in a flash. And that's what I think both Jason Couture and Yuri Swart have to keep in mind as Quinton and John Henry Vaughan. But John Henry Vaughan actually catching the curb, jumping the cart up a little bit. And that's how we saw the rollover. Hooking that curb, losing a bit, and it gets out from underneath you. So the guys are going to be super, super careful. Oh! Little bit of elbow action. John Henry Vaughan and Quinton Lobisher not leaving it anything to go. Jude Swart now having a bit of difficulty as he has got the likes of William Marshall behind him. So we got 2x2 battles happening at the moment where mistakes can start creeping in towards the later stages. We're on lap 7 of the race so far out of 12 laps. So we're just after halfway. The guys have to try and knuckle in, get in the toe, work on where they can get the points and not take unnecessary risks or go all out and for a pass. And you can see the likes of Jude Swart going for that inside line. William Marshall just having to get a little bit elbows out. Shan trying to chase him down though, really hoping to just get by. Jude managing to dive up on the inside line, and William Marshall getting a little bit of a nudge there as they make their way through. So little bit of difficult running for them. The guys having to just try everything they can to really force their way through. A little bit up towards the front, we can see a battle ongoing. This is Yuri Swart up on the inside of Jason Kutsia. Nearly hooks it, spins out, and now he's parked facing the wrong direction, losing 2 positions. Here comes Jade Swart. William Marshall comes blasting by. So 3rd place is actually going to John Henry Vaughan, who started in 1st place. And Jude Swart now battling out with Marshall. Marshall getting a little bit contact. And Yuri Swart stuck behind this little battle after his mistake. So the guys have just got to be so careful. John Henry Vaughan in 3rd place. Quinton Lobisher in 4th place. Jude Swart, William Marshall, Yuri Swart going and battling out. Yuri getting past William, now trying to get past the likes of Stewart. Stewart not backing down at this point, trying to go defensive. And take a look, Yuri tried going up on the inside, couldn't make it stick. William actually hooking the curb and bouncing his way through. So the guys getting really elbows out towards the end here, but Yuri Swart managing to get by. William Marshall capitalizing on it, just following suit in the toe.
Yeah, Steve, you spoke earlier about, the guys, 1 or 2 mistakes can gain you those positions, and that's exactly what we saw from Yuri Swart. He made that position that allowed, John Henry Vaughan and so to get past him. But the thing I want to, as we see another little bit of contact there, William Marshall spinning out, the thing that I'm saying is, Steve, I see a lot of little mistakes on the track that's, really costing the guys, clipping a curb here and there, resulting them to bounce the carts, spin out, that type of thing. And that's costing them dearly in this race, and we're already on the 2nd last lap, aren't we?
Fair enough, we are. But I just want to point out, we want to always highlight good sportsmanship. Yuri Swart went and tipped the likes of William Marshall, causing him to lose out. So what did Yuri do? Slowed down on the circuit in a safe manner and waited until Marshall can get past him. So going and relinquishing the position, saying, listen, I made the mistake. Please come past me. He's lost out the drive to the likes of John Henry Vaughan. That's allowed Quinton Lobisher to come get close. But losing out that little bit of drive in terms of gaining the respect. Well done, Yuri. Well done. We tend to highlight things like that here with our little stream. So that's good sportsmanship pointing out.
Yeah, that's one of the unwritten rules of sportsmanship in the sim racing world. As we now watch Troy Dolenjek, he's very close to taking the checkered flag and yet another win here.
He's doing everything he can around the final corner, keeping it absolutely pinned and going to be maximizing points for his first heat. Second, Jason Kutsia, followed by John Henry Vaughan, Quinton Lobisher in 4th place. Jude Stewart coming by, going to be taking 5th place by just keeping it planted. Shan Lobisher going out in 6th place. William Marshall taking 6th with Yuri Swart in 8th place. So William Marshall in 7th. Yuri Swart in 8th. Melvin Trollope. Sorry, that's Mark Pollard finishing ahead of Melvin Trollope. A little bit further down, John Stewart coming across the line, taking 11th place. Sebastian Ferreira going and rounding our Sebastian Ferreira taking 11th place. John Stewart taking 12th place. And a couple of retirements, unfortunately. Lucas Sturman, Mohammed, do apologize, and Andrew Thomas being our earliest retirement for heat number 1. Now we're going to be moving over to heat number 2, ladies and gentlemen, our final heat of the evening. And as quick as they come is going to be as quick as they go, as we're going to have to keep an eye on who's going to climb their way through. Maximum points for Troy Dolenjek for the championship at the moment. Jason Kutsia has got a good amount of points. John Henry Vaughan in 3rd place. Did qualify in 1st, but unfortunately lost out on the start. So we're going to have to take a look how it all turns out when we move on to heat number 2. Your thoughts on heat number 1?
Very close racing, but as I said before, we saw those couple of mistakes that really cost the guys. Clipping a curb here and there, resulting them to spin out, resulting in a little bit of contact, and I think that is something these guys will have to take away from this first race and try and rectify in that second race to try and better your results. As we've seen previously in the previous couple of races, you know, the second race can sometimes turn out very different to the first race because the guys learn from the mistakes they made in that first race.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting time as we wait for the time to tick over and get guys to get back to the pits, and then we'll be having a bit of fun. So we keep an eye on Troy Dolenjek as he's just getting some little bit more practice in, just cruising around. I'd also like to say a big thank you to all our sponsors in the OKLA, our Online Karting League Africa Launch Cup. Big thank you to all our sponsors like Afri Racing, Against All Odds being the main thing about it, and OKLA. And if you are interested in being a part of the OKLA Championship, go and head to our website that is in the description. Go and click on there, and also keep an eye on Facebook. Bigger, better things is happening, so keep an eye on it. Right, Troy Dolenjek going to be starting in 1st place with Jason Kutsia lining up in 2nd place, Quinton Lobisher in 3rd place. So a little bit of a change up there. John Henry Vaughan in 3rd place, Quinton Lobisher in 4th place. Then you got the likes of Jude Stewart, followed by Shan Lobisher in 6th place, 7th place William Marshall, Yuri Swart in 8th, 9th place Mark Pollard, 10th place Melvin Trollope, Sebastian Ferreira in 11th, 12th place John Stewart, 13th place is Sebastian Diaz, Lucas Sturman in 14th, 15th is Mahir Wab, and then we've got Andrew Thomas in 16th place, ready to go for our final heat of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. And can you believe it? Our final heat for the season, for the Launch Cup. Absolutely tremendous stuff. It's been a really up and down season. It has been pulling on the heartstrings for everyone. Everyone sticking in the amount of work. Now it has come to this.
Yeah, and it looks like we had a bit of a false start there, so clock starting to tick down again as they re-line up on the grid, which makes things a bit worse, Stephen. You were getting ready for those lights to go green, and now you need to do your pre-race checks all over again. It's not helping the nerves out, is it?
No, I think at this point you know what's going on. You're eyeing out your competition. You're talking to your buddies on the team radios, whether it be on Discord or any other sort of chats that these guys have got. You're talking to one another. You're trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? What's the strategies? What's the plan? And you get that initial false start. Now you wait. Now you wait for it to all start up once again. Everyone eyeing out, trying to see where everyone is. Is everyone lining up? It does look like we got one person that is missing, and that is Mark Pollard, if I'm corrected. Yes, Mark Pollard is not on the grid as yet, and just going to have to keep an eye out. So hopefully he'll get on. William Marshall going in, waving his hand in the air. He's ready to go. So super excited there, which is good to see. You know, the guys are having a bit of fun, which is great to see this being a huge growing hobby. And now to have grassroots racing like karting becoming a South African league, which is always fantastic to see. And also have our South African circuits. Lights on as we wait. Lights off, and away we go. Jason Couture off to a little bit of a better start against Troy Dolenchik, trying to go around the outside. Troy going and managing to get by. Looks like Quinton having to go to the middle of the circuit. Yuri Swart trying to climb his way through. Bit of contact between Sebastian Ferreira and likes of Mohammed, unfortunately a little bit further back, getting into a bit of contact and losing out a lot of drive as they make their way through. It looks like Mark Pollard is actually stopped. It looks like he is actually out of the running for this. Might be our first retirement. So William Marshall is a confirmed retirement right now. Unfortunately, that start did not help him and lost out a bit of time there. Alright, Jude Stewart duking out with Yuri Swart as they make their way around. This is a battle for 4th and 5th place. Just ahead of them is 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Yuri Swart going and getting into that 1st place without a hitch. Mark Pollard actually stopped in the hairpin by the looks of it. Shan coming by, Lucas Sturman, Quinton Lobisher, and it looks like getting chased down. That is Sebastian Diaz trying to make his way through, going and forcing Quinton out wide.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, I think Pollard maybe got some technical difficulties going there, and that landing there up there on the side of the track. But so far, Troy Dolenchik here in front. He's opened up a little bit of a gap over 2nd place John Henry Vaughan. John Henry Vaughan will have to keep him in check, otherwise Troy is going to run away with this one. He cannot let Troy get away and open up that gap.
But please note, Jason Couture hanging on the coattails with Yuri Swart chasing him down. Jude Stewart's also in the mix, becoming a little bit of a dark horse a little bit further up, and we have to keep an eye on that. Shan is under a bit of battle with Lucas. So the two are busy duking out. A little bit further back behind them, massive train. It's Quinton Lobisher, Andrew Thomas, and the rest of the crowd, such as Sebastian Diaz, Malvin Trollope, and it looks like Mohammed also getting onto that little bit of a battle as they all trying to force their way through, figuring out what's going to be the best way, following in tow. Now we know the slipstream effect is major here down our main straight here at Zwartkops, so you just have to get it right. Try and eye out that inside line and go for it. The guys taking a little bit more of a conservative approach, but looks like Mohammed going and launching it past Andrew Thomas, going in absolutely full, sending it past Quinton, gets stuck, and Sebastian Diaz now trying to go side by side with him. So one full send has cost him the position by the looks of it. If he doesn't run wide, still side by side, and it's still going to be Andrew Thomas, Sebastian Diaz, and Mohammed now chasing him down. So Mohammed not giving up, with the likes of Melvin Trollope starting to catch up.
I mean, absolutely. We saw there, as soon as you lose that momentum, it can cost you dearly there. Running a bit wide, losing that drive, you know, then you lose it all the way down to the next breaking point. And in a kart, there's not a lot of breaking points, Steve.
No, and taking a look, Andrew Thomas busy taking a big look, and he managed to get past Quinton. A little bit of contact coming from the likes of Sebastian Diaz actually clipping the wall there, and Mohammed actually moving his way through. Quinton Lobisher a little bit further down, Melvin Trollope, but Sebastian Diaz unfortunately collecting that tunnel, just missing it off by a fraction, and that has cost him severely, needing to try and claw his way back up through the field.
I mean, absolutely. A little bit of contact on that wall. I mean, that stopped him dead in his tracks, and it's going to take some time to recover from that one. 2 retirements so far. We've got William Marshall and Mark Pollard out of the race. So far, a little bit of less retirements than the previous race. We are not even halfway. A little bit of a longer race this, as we've got Troy Dolanchek battling it out with one of the back markers there, trying to get past.
No, that's John Henry Vaughan that's actually gotten ahead. So John Henry Vaughan ahead of Troy Dolanchek at the moment, managing to get by. Troy actually battling to hang on to the back of him at this point. Yuri Swart starting to close in. He's pulling Jason Kutsia. So worst case scenario for Troy Dolanchek. John Henry Vaughan getting by, backing him up into the field. And now it is all about full send as they make their way around.
And I'm sure Troy will try and pass, John very quickly because, as you said, he's pushing him back to the likes of Yuri Swart, one of his main championship rivals, and that's the last thing Troy would want at this stage.
So John just going and doing everything he can to try and keep ahead. You can see Troy constantly pressurizing him, putting that nose right up against the rear bumper, trying to force a mistake. John going to the middle of the circuit, going and holding back Troy. Troy trying to do a bit of a cutback, was unsuccessful in doing so. And you can see as John goes to the middle of the circuit once again, if you want to talk about going elbows out and defending your life away, well, this is it. Goes out wide though. Troy going and capitalizing on it. Dives past John, trying to battle his way back. Goes out a little bit wide, trying to carry the momentum through. Tries to go underneath him. Couldn't do that as they snake their way up. There's 8 laps so far going to be completed, 17 laps in this race. And the guys are going to have to just try and figure out what's going to be the best way to claw their way up for the maximum amount of points. As we said, 10,000 Rand split between the first 3. And absolutely fantastic that we've got some sponsorship where, yeah, the guys get to have something a bit more going into the more festive times. They can go and organize a nice gift or two. Maybe flowers for the missus for going and racing if they were meant to be having dinner together.
Or spending it all on a trophy for the series.
That works too,
Just something for the trophy cabinet.
Well, just taking a look. John really fighting to try and get through. And Yuri Swart going and collecting the curb once again. His Achilles heel seems to be that final curb. And it's a little bit closer onto the back of John Henry Vaughan. So now has a chance to go for that second place. Get a little bit closer to his championship rival. I think with heat number 1, for unfortunately he wasn't so great in points. He's going to have to do what he can now to get as close as possible. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for him. John Henry Vaughan is also up for the championship, so he's really hoping to just keep on the pressure. They're starting to catch up to Sebastian Ferreira by the looks of it, and back marker coming into play. How can you box your competitor in? They're getting him on the straight though. Fortunate enough, is it going to be enough? Troy trying to go up on the inside, does so. John Henry Vaughan comes through. Yuri Swart managing to get by. Sebastian Ferreira getting absolutely swamped last minute. Troy trying to pull away. John Henry Vaughan all over the back of him. Yuri Swart, Jason Kutsia now trying to get past the back marker. You can see how it's turning into a little bit of a roughhouse for our first 3. John Henry Vaughan looking to try and send it as quick as possible as we make our way through the field, though. We've got Yuri Swart in 3rd place, Jason Kutsia in 4th place, and then we've got there's Sebastian Ferreira, who's unfortunately a little bit further down. He is currently sitting in 14th place. Making his way through, that's Jude Stewart coming by. He's sitting in 5th place with Lucas Sturman chasing him down. Shan Lobisher in 7th place. Andrew Thomas making his way around the final bend with the likes of Mohammed Wahib coming by. Mahir Wahib. And we've got Quinton Lobisher. Melvin Trollope, followed by Sebastian Diaz going and trying to chase him down. John Stewart finishing his way around. He's currently in 13th place ahead of Sebastian Ferreira. So the guys are really putting in an extra mile here. And unfortunately for the likes of John Stewart, he's got to keep an eye behind him as our front pack are starting to close down on him rather quickly. And it looks like there's no room for error for any of them. as they make their way through. John constantly doing what he can to now defend against Yuri Swart. Yuri constantly trying to hound him, looks to the inside line, couldn't make a stick. John Henry Vaughan trying to go for the inside line of Troy Dolanchik. So both of these drivers just looking to get one up on one another. And Troy Dolanchik, who usually we've seen him run away in the past, now under some serious pressure at the final race and the final heat, and hoping to not get boxed in as they start catching up to John Stewart.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, John and Yuri, they maybe made some changes on the cards for this final heat, and that has allowed them to stick closer to Troy. I mean, this is a very close three-way battle between these three, and they are going to battle right the way to the checkered flag. We've got, say, 3 laps to go, so not long. It sounds like a long time, but these laps go by so very quickly. I mean, 42 seconds for a lap, and then your lap is over.
Yeah, so we've seen these guys really put in the extra bit of effort. And takes a look, Troy Dolanchik going and defending that inside line like there is no tomorrow at this point, giving John Henry Vaughan the difficulty of going around the outside every single time, and Yuri Swart just loving this because he gets the inside line. He's not having to battle likes of Troy Dolanchik, so he's got a bit more space ahead of him. John going and losing out. Yuri comes by and gives a slight nudge as he forces his way through, and now has Jason Coetzee looking to come and get a little bit closer. So John Henry Vaughan a little bit baited into a move, and unfortunately that's cost him position. Yuri Swart going full send, ducking down on the inside to try and make it all work. Did so. Take a look, John Henry Vaughan. I think his tyres have fallen off though, and now has Jason Coetzee trying to go around the outside, trying to force him out wide. Jason going and having to fall back a little bit more.
I mean, not long now to go until the end of the race, so the battle has, now between Troy and Yuri, the two main championship rivals, where you said, John Henry Vaughan has fallen back a bit. Maybe his tires started going off. But basically 1 lap to go now, Steve, before the end of the race and the end of this championship.
That's it. Yuri Swart really trying to do what he can. Try to go up on the inside. Troy Dolanchik not allowing it to happen. John Henry Vaughan now back into the tow, pulling himself along as they make their way through over the bridge. Now into the final corner. You can see Troy Dolanchik taking that inside line. Now it's going to be across the line. White flag showing final lap, and it's all or nothing. You can see Yuri Swart tried going hard up against the inside. Troy Dolanchik going and forcing it to the curb as they make their way through, which is absolutely incredible. That's allowed John Henry Vaughan to get back into the fight, and Jason Coetzee as well to get back into the fight. So this is turning into a monstrous race. Troy Dolanchik not letting it go though. Yuri Swart trying his luck. John Henry Vaughan coming back, fighting strong. He's looking to try go for that inside line. Jason Coetzee trying to go for the inside line. This has turned into a 4-way battle for first place. Over the bridge now. There's only 1 corner to go. Troy Dolanchik holding that inside line. Yuri Swart trying to go around the outside. Hits a curb though. Gets it all types of wrong. Yuri Swart loses out right at the end. And that has allowed John Henry Vaughan to cross the line. Jason Coetzee finishing up in 3rd place. Yuri Swart with taking a gamble. Unfortunately dropping him down to 4th place. Jude Stewart coming across the line in likes of 5th place. 6th place is Shan Lobisher, and we've got Lucas Sturman, Andrew Thomas coming across the line, followed by Mahir Wahab, Quinton Lobisher, as they all make their way through. It's absolutely a monumental race that went on. Quinton Lobisher going and rounding out our top 10. Sebastian Diaz in 11th place. Melvin Trollope in 3rd place. John Stewart in 13th place. Sebastian Ferreira taking 14th place. 15th place, unfortunately, is our first retirement. And that's William Marshall and Mark Pollard finishing in 16th place. Whew! What a race.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. I mean, going into the last corner, Troy, John, Jason, Yuri, all together. Unfortunately, Yuri losing out. That curb yet again catching him out. And, it's a kind of blind entry to that curb. Very easy to get it wrong. Unfortunately, he clipped it, and that made him spun around and lose out on the top 3 places.
Absolutely, positively, that was wild. It's the only way of saying it. It was absolutely wild to see it right to the end. But our championship, Troy Dolanchik getting Heat 1 and Heat 2, I think has cemented him in first place in the championship. But we can only confirm that when the official results come out. This is the unofficial results. But wow. And I've got to say, John Henry Vaughan putting up a massive fight there. He really climbed his way through. And I take my hat off to him as we're getting our guys in. So let's start with our third place man. Let's bring in Jason Coetzee. Jason, welcome to the commentary box after just being on the circuit. What a race for you. It was some hard work. It was some back and forth battles. And in the end, it took one move by Yuri Swart to move you into third place for heat number 2. How are you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, it was quite close. I mean, all of us were pretty close on pace. It made it quite hard because you had to really nail every single lap, every single time. Yeah, I was just trying to stay safe on the track to not get taken out. Yeah, that was basically my main focus at last race, and finally it paid off.
Well, those curbs seem to be a difficult thing. Now, you've raced around Zwartkops. How was it racing it on a sim?
Oh, it's actually pretty close. I mean, I've only raced at the new layout once, and that was like about 2 years ago. But I mean, it's pretty close. I must say, like Shannon and them. I mean, yeah, they did a perfect series. It's a lot of fun. The track itself is actually really good. Every single curb is possibly like spot on. So yeah, it was real fun.
Okay, now my final question. Worst corner on the circuit that you had to battle your way through?
That will possibly be the double right. Because if you just get a little slide or a little bog, it ruins your whole run, and that's about, say, 0.2, 0.3. Yeah, that must be the worst corner, but if you really get it right, then you're smiling. So
Absolutely
yeah.
fantastic. But well done also in the championship, bagging some critical points, and we're going to have the championship coming soon, but well done. Great season. Janneman, anything from your side to Jason?
No, I just want to say well done on that last lap. I think that was the lap of the season between the four of you. I don't think we've seen such close racing before.
Yeah, no, look, I think like between me, Troy, John Henry, I mean, even Umpi was actually really quick, and especially Luca, big ups to him. I mean, he's been really fast the whole season. So yeah, I mean, that last lap pretty much summed it up.
Absolutely
well
awesome.
done.
Let's bring in John Henry Vaughan for his chat. Thank you very much, Jason, and congrats once again. Let's have a chat to John Henry Vaughan as we went and spoke about a little bit of a dark horse that managed to claw his way through, capitalizing, qualifying into first place, dropped down into third from race number 1. Race number 2 came back fighting like there was no tomorrow. How are you feeling, mate? That was a race, well, 2 heats of note for you from all the ups and downs, the wild moments, and we even saw in heat number 1 you bogged down, but you were able to claw it back.
That was Stephen. Yeah, that was awesome. You know, from practice to qualifying, we found pace magically. I don't know how we did it, but managed to put it on pole. And then for race 1, just made a mistake going into turn 2 and dropped back to about, I think, 5th or 6th. So I had to claw my way back to 3rd. And then for race 2, me and Troy had an awesome dice. It was insane. It was very close between the top 4 of us. And it was quite a race.
Honestly, it was amazing to see it. And yeah, we went and talked about how the circuit is. For you, how did you feel the Zwartkops circuit? And what's the emotions knowing that this was the last race of the Launch Cup?
You know, Zwartkops was today was the first time that I did laps on the track, and it was extremely difficult. Before qualifying, I thought, I mean, is there even a point of me racing? I was that far off the pace. I thought and then I managed to pull it out of that. But it was still really good racing. It was a good track for racing, and yeah.
And how are you feeling knowing that this is
Oh.
the last race of the Launch Cup?
Yeah, so obviously starting pole I think it was my first pole of the season. I was extremely nervous. I wish I was still in the championship after, unfortunately round one we had a problem. So I wish I was still in the championship. I think the nerves would have been a lot higher, but it was still awesome, and it was very nerve-wracking.
Absolutely fantastic. Bagging some good points for the championship. Congratulations. Yanaman, anything you want to say to John?
John, just want to find out, did you make any changes from the first to the second heat that allowed you to stick closer to Troy, or was it just a better heat overall for you?
No, I didn't make any changes to the kart or anything. It's just I sort of just started just put my head down and got a few laps in, good laps, and just hunted down Troy.
Well done on that last lap. That was the lap of the season.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, absolutely amazing, John. Good luck, well done, and also a big shout out to the team working in the background. Moving in for first place and was first in the championship, maximizing the points. Let's bring in Troy Dolanchek. Troy, buddy, how are you feeling? Came into the championship, really dominated, had some rough racing. You had to really duke it out with the guys, but finishing 2 heats at Zwartkops final round, both of them in first place. That means you are cementing yourself for the championship. How are you feeling, buddy? The emotions must be amazing.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome race. The pace of the guys was epic. The quali was very close, and the guys really brought their A game. So only qualified third. John Henry and Umpi were very, very quick. We had a nice pre-final. Obviously got away a little bit with Umpi and Jason scuffling a bit. So got away there, and then in the final we just had an epic dice for the last 10 laps. So obviously definitely the one that I enjoyed the most, and definitely took the most out of. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and obviously awesome series so far. And obviously we're getting more of the SA tracks for next season. So big thank you to Shan for the whole series, and obviously to you guys as well. And
you got to just point out, I mean, that last one, Yuri took an absolute gamble of note to try and get the dive on. You full first place, landed up with a problem. How did it feel? Just, did you see him go off circuit and just able to take a breath?
Yeah, obviously it all happens very quickly, but yeah, obviously when you cross the line, it's an awesome feeling to win both. But yeah, it's never done until it's done. So obviously you can't celebrate until you cross the line. So yeah, awesome feeling.
Well, the only way to know that something's done is you're going to have a cart parked on a trailer, whether it's in one piece or multiple pieces. The only thing you're going to be taking some pieces home. Yanaman, anything you want to say to Troy?
Now, firstly, congratulations. I think you had an awesome season. Now, in the last race, in the final, for once we did not see you get away, and the guys, kept you in check up until that last corner. And I was just want to say well done on coping with all that pressure, especially, that last corner where Yuri made that lunge. Unfortunately, he clipped the curb. I mean, that's awesome racing there. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's just this track's nature in general, even in real life. This track's racing is very close, and the lap times are always very close. So I think that definitely had a part to play in it.
Absolutely, well done. And also cementing yourself first in the championship. Absolutely, congrats to you and the team for it. I think next up we're only going to be right is bringing Shan in, the man, the myth, the legend who put this all together. Shan, welcome to the commentary box. You haven't been here in a little bit, and giving up the commentary box to go for racing, landed up in some phenomenal racing right till the end. How does it feel, buddy?
Yeah, it was cool. It was super fun. Like you guys know, I was the voice of OKLA in the previous 2 seasons, or 3 seasons rather. So it was super cool for myself to just be able to step back from that and get into the rig and race a little bit. I had some fun racing with some of the guys. Some moments weren't that great, but I had fun overall. It was super cool to be part of this event.
And being the final round, racing around Zwartkops, I mean, this is This is a circuit that's got a little bit of love. It's always got a place in everyone's hearts. You guys gone and scanned it, and even got the nightmare corner for me, which is at 90-degree right-hander before you get underneath the bridge, being the pain in the backside. How does it feel to see it all come together?
That's super cool. Just worth noting, Zwartkops is also not laser scanned as of yet. The VKC, Idube, and Zwartkops are our finished products for pre-laser scan tracks. So the good news is our first laser scan track should be released by the end of December. So we'll start the new year with Kalani as our official first laser scan track. A little bit further ahead, we are aiming to get Calcio Scribante out by hopefully the end of January, mid-Feb. And then, the rest of the tracks are going to start following, and we will replace these 3 tracks, I think, once we've completed Formula K and some of the other tracks that we want to get out as priority.
Now, I know a couple of people are going to be watching us saying, how on earth can I get involved? How can I join the series? Where can they go? How can they be a part of the series going into next year for the OKLA?
Yeah, so we've got a launch. This was the launch cup, so everybody got free access to the platform or the product, whatever you want to call it. They have free access still until the end of November. If you are still there and you want to have a little bit of a run on the tracks, you've got till the end or somewhere next week, I think, middle next week, to register and do a couple laps on the tracks if you would like to. It is still freely available for you guys. So go to our website, esports.com, go register, get involved. But from the 1st of January or the last day of November, access will be removed and it will become a membership-based product. So if you go to the site, again, esports.com, register from the 1st of December. And I'm really hoping we meet our deadline there. That is when we want to release the site or the full product. And the product means you get access to the tracks, you get access to all the future tracks and the extra content that's going to come with it. It helps us to continue getting, a little bit of funds to continue developing and building on this product. And we are hoping to get this out to, other African countries like Namibia. I believe Zimbabwe's got a couple tracks there, Morocco, Egypt, and Mozambique. So we are trying to bring the entire Africa to the virtual world. And but let's first finish South Africa's tracks and get out there.
Absolutely incredible. Yanaman, anything from your side?
No, I just want to congratulate Sean on a very well-run first season. And now the big question: when can we look forward to the next season in the new year?
Yeah, so we've got I believe somewhere, Steve, you might even know, we had a provisional calendar out, and I think somewhere late or early February we'll start with the official league. There will be some changes to the league. There will be a pro division where things are going to be a little bit more simulated real world. So rolling starts, when you retire from the track, you can't go back out, even if it's a qualifying session. If you need to go to the pitch, you have to drive in. So we'll do a lot more strict simulation, vibes for this pro division. And then obviously we will have different divisions based on your skill set. If there's rookies, we'll obviously place you with guys that are a little bit more on your level until you get, good enough. But that won't be the only racing that will happen next year. We plan to release official ranked matchmaking from January. It's going to be a difficult task, but we are aiming to have that ready. What does that mean? Everybody that wants to race, if you're registered or member from our platform, you register for one of 3 races during the evening that fits your time slot. You get matched with other guys, you jump on a server, you race. And, you get to build up similar to iRacing where you have a rank system. I think Assetto Corsa has got the same vibe. So we are aiming to do something like that in the kart space.
Absolutely amazing. Grassroots racing. 31st of January is going to be the first race, and that's going to be at Zwartkops as per the provisional calendar, but that can change, so keep an eye on social media, on Facebook, and also keep an eye for all AOA, or AO, against all odds, against all odds esports right here on YouTube. Lots more to come through. Shan, anything from your side in closing that you want to go and say? The mic is yours. Remember that don't make fun of the competition.
No, guys, thank you so much. Commentators, you did a great job. I know this was like a test trial for all of us to see how we can make this better. I've watched the streams. I'll go watch this one afterwards. I think it was great. I'm super excited to see, what we can do with this product and how much more we can take this, or how much further we can take it, outside of Africa into the international scene, or outside of our continent at least. I would like to thank everybody, all the participants for joining, all the guys that did the qualifier, the open qualifier, that's been on the service, that's been enjoying it. We used this cup as a test phase as well, so it wasn't only, let's throw some money at it and see what we can do. We are gathering a lot of data. Steve, I know you and me and Janneman will have a debrief after this, maybe next week. Pick up, some things that we've learned and, see if we can get that better. So yeah, Against Odds Esports, thanks to the guys. That's part of my life. Afro Racing, and then obviously Online Karting League Africa. It's 3 products that we are putting it, it's all under the same umbrella, but they're all running their own little thing. So thanks to all of the guys that are participating in that. And then also all the viewers, thank you guys for tuning in. It's super cool to see your comments in the chats, on Facebook posts and all those about all your favorite karters, your kids, your grandchildren. It's super, super cool to see everybody join in, and, all your chats really helps us. And then also, if you guys have any feedback, please feel free to send us a message on Online Karting League Africa Facebook page, or you can even email us at info@aaoesports.com. Give us your feedback. It's super cool for us to see what you guys say, what you think we can improve. Please, we want those feedback from everybody, even if it's just viewers or supporters of the product. That would be great.
Absolutely. And also just want to tag on there, guys, feel free to go and hit that subscribe button along with the bell notification icon on YouTube as well. I know a lot of people tend to forget that one.
Yeah, thank you guys, thank you so much for everything.
Absolutely.
No, thank you to you.
And just looking, Kritzy actually putting a heart saying heart chant. So there we go. You got a little bit of love in the comments as well from Kritzy. Janneman, it has been a phenomenal season. It has been the first introduction into from our side into karting as a full-on league. And it has been enjoyable to go and watch guys that we've raced against both in the real world and in the virtual world, going and duking it out, and also having this open platform where guys get to experience local circuits. And with lots more coming on the horizon, it's really proving to be such a great bit of fun. So guys, go and download Kart Racing Pro, go onto the website, go and sign up. It's worth doing it. It's a huge amount of fun. You can even go and stick it in VR. Done it before. Lots of fun to try it out. So, yeah. Janneman, any words from you for closing? Final round. Can you believe it?
Looking forward to next year. Looking forward to next season. I think it's only going to get bigger and better, Stephen.
It's going to be louder. It's going to be prouder. It's going to be all over Africa. And we'll see you next time right here at the Online Karting League Africa. Thank you very much for joining. And we'll see you next time. Heading into next year, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, have a festive season, and remember to keep those tires on the black stuff and have an absolute amount of fun. This is all of us from Online Karting League Africa. Have a good one. Cheers.